Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're heading into a part of Tokyo that, well, maybe doesn't always make the headlines, but it's absolutely packed with history.
That's right. We're talking about Kita Ward, specifically the Takinogawa and Oji districts.
Yeah, and our mission really is to dig into the stories behind these places. We want to uncover some of those, layers of history and maybe find some surprising hidden gems for you today.
And we're using some fascinating sources to do this. Things like old Edo-era guidebooks.
Right, like the original travel guides.
Exactly. Texts like Shinpen Musashi Fudokiko and the Edo Meisho Zoo. These weren't just maps, they were incredibly detailed. They covered local culture, history, legends, even festival schedules.
Amazing. They really give you a window into what life was like back then.
They absolutely do. They help us understand the why behind how these areas developed.
Okay, so let's jump in. A good place to start is usually the names themselves, right? They often hold the first clue. What about Takinogawa?
Well, Takinogawa is pretty descriptive. It literally means Waterfall River.
Waterfall River.
Yeah, it comes from the Shakoji River, which was also called the Otonashi River. In this stretch, apparently it had a really rapid sort of waterfall-like flow there.
Huh. And is that an old name?
Oh, very old. It even shows up in the Genpei Seisuki, which is a famous war chronicle from, like, the 1180s.
Wow, medieval times.
Right. It mentions Minamoto no Yoritomo, the guy who set up the Kamakura shogunate, arriving at Takinokawa's Matsuhashi.
The Pine Bridge of Takinogawa. So it was already a known spot way back then.
Definitely. Nearly 1,000 years ago.
Okay, and what about Oji? That sounds a bit grander, almost royal.
It does, and its origins are also quite old, going back to the late Heian period. The local Toshima clan established Oji Shrine there, Oji no Miya.
Ah, hence Oji.
Exactly. And what's really interesting is they apparently modeled the landscape around it after Kumano.
The famous sacred site.
That's the one. So they deliberately tried to give Oji this, special, almost sacred atmosphere right from the start.
That's fascinating. So these places weren't just random settlements. There was intention there.
A lot of intention, it seems.
And the history goes back even further, doesn't it? I saw mentions of prehistoric stuff in the sources.
Oh, absolutely. We're talking deep history. Archaeologists have found things like the Nishigahara shell mounds from the Jomon period.
Wow.
And various Yayoi period sites, too. So people have been living here for thousands of years. Then later, it was known as Hiratsuka no Sato, Hiratsuka Village.
Part of the Toshima clan's territory.
Right. They even had Hiratsuka Castle there. And there's a great legend connected to it involving Minamoto no Yoshi.
Okay, let's hear it. I always enjoy these old tales.
So the story goes, after the Gozanen War, which was a big deal back in the late 11th century, Yoshi stopped in Hiratsuka. And he's apparently so impressed with the local clan head, Koshima Chikai, that he gifted him some really valuable items.
Whoa, like what?
A suit of armor and an 11-faced cannon statue. And this gift, is said to be the reason they founded Hiratsuka Shrine.
So the shrine's origins are tied to this warrior's visit and gift.
According to the legend, yes. It really ties together that whole medieval world of warriors, local power, and religious devotion, all right there in Hiratsuka Village.
Incredible. Okay, let's jump forward a bit. Edo period. These places really took off then, didn't they? Became sort of leisure destinations.
They absolutely did. Almost like day trip spots from the main city of Edo. Oji especially became a huge draw.
What was the main attraction there?
The Otonashi River. Imagine it lined with something like 50 tea houses and restaurants.
50. Wow.
Yeah, places like Ibiya and Ogiya were famous, mentioned in all the popular guides. People came out from the city to relax, enjoy the scenery, eat, socialize.
A real escape.
Definitely. And Takinogawa, that was the place for autumn leaves. Just stunning color.
The Momiji-dera connection later on, maybe?
Well, yes. And it was so famous that Utagawa Hiroshi included it in his famous Ukiyo-e series.
The print, Oji Takinogawa.
That's the one. It really captures the beauty of the temple and the autumn foliage. These were places people knew about and wanted to visit.
It sounds like they were really woven into the fabric of Edo life. Not just pretty places, but places with stories. You mentioned legends earlier. Any others that really capture the local feel?
Well, there are tons scattered through the sources, even from nearby areas that share the same cultural sphere. One quite poignant one is the legend of Koigakudo, Love Hollow.
Love Hollow. That sounds dramatic.
It is. It's actually from Kokubunji City, but it reflects the kind of folklore common in the wider Musashi province. It's about a woman, Asatsuma Dayu.
Okay.
She tragically killed herself after hearing false news that her lover, Hatakeyama Shigetada, had died. The story goes that the landscape itself sort of reflects her sorrow.
Wow, that's heavy. It really grounds the place in human emotion, doesn't it? Beyond just the scenic views.
Exactly. It reminds you that these were places where real lives with deep emotions unfolded.
So these charming Edo spots and ancient legends, how did things change as Japan started modernizing Meiji Taisho eras?
Ah, that's when we see a really massive shift. Takinogawa especially went from being mostly farmland to a pretty serious industrial area.
Industries like what?
All sorts.
Yeah.
Factories making detonators, big textile mills like Kojima Spinning, then Tokyo Spinning, even the Brewing Research Institute set up there.
So part of that big national push for modernization.
Absolutely. But the really huge change, the thing that reshaped everything, was the Great Kanto earthquake in 1923.
Right, devastated central Tokyo. How did that affect Keto Ward?
Well, Keto Ward, including Takinogawa and Oji, had significantly less fire damage because it was further out,
So people moved there.
in huge numbers.
Mm.
It caused this massive population boom. People whose homes and workplaces were destroyed in the city center migrated out to areas like Keto Ward.
Turning it into more of a residential area.
Exactly. It quickly became a dense residential zone, largely for all the factory workers. By 1924, Takinogawa was actually the third most populous town in the Tokyo suburbs.
Incredible growth. So the earthquake didn't just destroy, it completely reconfigured the city's layout.
It really did. It turned these formerly peripheral areas into vital parts of the growing metropolis. It basically laid the groundwork for the Keto Ward we see today.
Okay, so that brings us more towards the present. With all that history packed in, what can someone actually see and do in Takinogawa and Oji today? Are there spots where you can feel that connection to the past?
Oh, definitely. Lots of places offer that direct link. Take Otonashi Shinsui Park, right near Oji Station.
The one you mentioned was the river.
That's it. That bustling Edo River, lined with tea houses. It's now this really beautiful, peaceful park. It's actually listed as one of Japan's top 100 urban parks.
So they transformed it.
Yeah, they managed the flood risks and turned it into this lovely urban oasis. Walking there, you're literally on the same ground where Edo folks were enjoying themselves.
That's a great example. What else?
Well, at Kagoji Temple in Takinogawa, people still call it Momiji-dera, the Autumn Leaves Temple.
Ah, so it still lives up to the name.
It certainly does. It carries on that Edo tradition of stunning fall colors, the one Hiroshi's painted. Plus, it has that deeper history. Minamoto no Yoritomo supposedly prayed there back in 1180.
Right, the Benzaiten connection.
Exactly. And then there's Asukayama Park in Oji, famous for cherry blossoms now.
Yes, very famous.
But it used to be part of an imperial villa, the Toshima Goten. It was an imperial residence, even used as hawk hunting grounds for the shogunate before that. So when you're having your hanami picnic, you're doing it on former imperial grounds.
That adds a layer, doesn't it? For the real history buffs, particularly those interested in samurai history, anything specific?
Oh, yes. If you're into the Bakumatsu period, the end of the samurai era, you absolutely have to visit Chitokuji Temple Cemetery in Takinogawa.
Why there?
That's where you'll find the grave of Kondo Isami,
The commander of the Shinsengumi.
the very same, along with graves of other Shinsengumi members. It's quite a powerful, solemn place, a direct connection to that really turbulent time.
Wow, okay. That's a definite must-see for some visitors. What strikes me is how the history isn't just, locked away in museums. It seems to be alive in the area.
It really is. The past is constantly being sort of reimagined or integrated into the present. Like the old Akabane railway line.
What about it?
It used to be a military cargo railway supporting all that industry we talked about. Now, it's this lovely, straight green walking and cycling path right through Keto Ward.
No way. So you can walk the path of an old military line.
Literally trace it. It's a fantastic hidden gem for walkers or anyone interested in that kind of industrial archaeology. It shows how infrastructure can be reused.
That's really cool. Any other examples of that kind of blend?
Definitely. There's an area people now call Chalktown Studios in Takinogawa.
Chalktown.
Yeah, it's on the site of an old chalk and pigment factory from the Taisho era, the Tokyo Onkyo Sandori Gugu Seizosho. Now it's this buzzing little hub of creativity. Lots of handicraft studios, small galleries, antique shops. It's like the area's history of making things, even art materials, is continuing in this modern artistic way.
I love that. From chalk factory to art hub. Any other modern twists? Maybe something you can taste.
Funny you should ask. Near Asukayama Park, you've got modern beekeepers who are actually carrying on a tradition linked to the old imperial villa.
Beekeepers?
Yeah, producing something called Takinogawa honey. It's connected to the idea of goyomitsu, or royal honey, from the Meiji-era villa.
So you can literally taste a piece of royal history.
Pretty much. It's a delicious way to connect with the past and the area's natural side. And then there's the whole Machikoba culture.
The small local factories.
Exactly. Scattered all around. They're not tourist spots in the usual sense, but these small workshops with incredible skills are still there. And increasingly, they're working with designers to make really unique, high-quality, modern products.
So the manufacturing spirit is still alive?
Very much so. It's like a living manufacturing DNA, skilled hands still shaping the district, just in new ways.
What an incredible journey we've taken today from, ancient river names and sacred spots through Edo fun and industrial growth, right up to modern artists and even honey, all in Takinogawa and Oji.
It really shows how much history can be packed into seemingly ordinary neighborhoods. And it makes you wonder, doesn't it? How does knowing all this deep history, the names, the legends, the old pathways, the local products, how does that change the way you actually experience the place today?
That's a great question for everyone listening. We hope this deep dive has maybe inspired you to look a bit closer next time you're exploring.
Absolutely. Go beyond the usual guidebook recommendations.
Yeah, seek out those clues. Maybe find that honey or walk that old railway path. You really might be surprised by the rich stories Tokyo has waiting for you, especially in places like Takinogawa and Oji.